that. You know, and the way he talks his accent, that really made me laugh in the beginning because I was like, where you from again? Because he has his accent, you know, and my mom says to this day, oh, can't nobody say your name like Seymour. Oh, she loves when he calls my name. It's just little things about him that, but it just added up to something big. It grew. You know, we started as friends and it grew.
And what I like about it, what I like about it is that your first date, you played pool. It wasn't. It was
Oh,
just. And what I'm saying is because sometimes people think that when you meet somebody, it's got to be like this big. Y'all got to go to somewhere fancy and stuff like that. But y'all went and y'all had a very relaxed date.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody,
Yeah.
neither one of y'all were really looking for anything. There was no pretending.
No.
You came
Right.
straight for it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Right. We,
So
we presented with our authentic selves.
yes,
Yeah, we were just who we were as people. There was no putting on. There was no, what did we do? We went to play pool and then we went to Outback.
Yeah,
We went to
Outback.
Outback.
Outback
Yeah.
had a little thing
Yeah. It was
there.
Outback and pool.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the audience out there, just to give y'all, this is Lady Doc and her husband Clarence. They've been married for 23 years, and they have one of the greatest stories that I've heard as it pertains to a married couple and just the venture. We're going to get all into the details. If y'all have any questions throughout the interview, first of all, we want to thank y'all for taking the time out to spend with us. We and I'm pretty sure that the seeds that you're going to deposit into people's lives are going to change. So if y'all have any questions, you can drop it down in the chat as we go along. So you get past the first date, right?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we get past the first date.
Tell them how you was running from me.
Oh, I was about to get there. We get past the first date, so I say, man, I'm over it. I can't do this no more. I done been through this a million times. I don't want to go do it no more. So, she lived like just about around the corner from me. So I say, I'm not going to go across the house. I'm going the back way. I'm going all the way around. I'm getting away from it. Every corner I hit, guess what? I run into her. I said, I just can't get away. Lord help me. I stopped her and said, hey, how you doing? You all right? She said, yeah, I'm all right. I'm hitting the work and so and so. And then I said, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Fella, stop running from your blessings. You see that? This man was running from me.
I was running. So the next day, a couple of days later, I'm headed down the boulevard. See her pulled into the gas station, the filling station, gas station. I see her, so I said, I'm gonna slow my car down so she could pull out. I slow my car down. She pulls out the gas station. She goes down the street. I pulls into the gas station to get gas, and you won't believe she hooked a U-turn in the street, and she didn't even know it was in the gas station. She hooked the U-turn, came back to the gas station. I said, what? I don't believe it.
Believe it all up and through.
I do not believe it. I'm trying to duck it. Look at this. I go out work. He switched that U-turn. She came right back around and went to the gas station. But she was coming there for something else and ran right into me.
I love it. I love it. And let me tell you,
add that nugget. You are, even when you're running from something, what God has for you is for you. Who God has for you, they are for you. Even if you're scared, even if you're running, even if you're not sure, what God has for you is for you. So we ran. He did more running than I did because something came over me and it showed me that you're safe with him. It's gonna be okay. But he had to have a little more convincing, because sometimes when you show up with trauma and you have these bad experiences from your past, it kind of makes you afraid, right? It kind of makes you hesitant, to get into a new relationship. So so we were kind of running from each other, but we couldn't. His legs was too short to run from God. I always say.
Yeah, because I was home. I was home. I say I was lonely by myself, and I was sitting to the table, and I was talking to the universe. Putting it out there, what I want and how I want it. And I asked God, I asked the universe to send me somebody good. Somebody that can understand me, somebody that'll know me and understand the way I am and the person who I am, and get to know me as who I am and love me for me and nothing else. And I asked the universe this, and at the same time writing it down. And like I said, I asked the universe that, and next thing I know, the universe started working.
I love
They
it.
said, "Part way from Texas to Key West," and the universe started just working. Unbelievable. And when I did ask the universe, I said, I don't care if she got kids or if she don't got kids. I just wanted to understand me for who I am.
I love it. I love it.
And what you get on the paper?
I cried over the paper,
Ooh.
dropped tears over the paper, and the paper came true.
Well,
Wow.
Dropped tears over because I was just sick and tired of running around from this one to that one. You know, you get sick of that. You know, you don't want that mess. You want true love in your
True
life.
love.
You know, that's what you want. You want somebody to just love you and you love them, and that's it.
I love it. What I like about it is Lady Doc busts a U-turn. That is
So,
because Lady Doc speak to that because there are so many traditional women now that feel as if they don't have to, that the man is supposed to do everything. Can you speak to your courage to do that? Because you know, we get right now the way it is that we've been taught that we take that scripture, he that findeth a wife, and all of that. But some women feel like the man has to do all the pursuing. Can you speak to your courage at that point? What made you do that?
well, I've always been a go-getter. I have always been determined. I go after, what I want. I couldn't have gotten through school without being determined. And there was something in him that I seen and I wanted it. And I'm like, I wanted it. So hey, I'm gonna go for it. But he pursued me, I wouldn't say equally, because he had a lot more background, trauma in his background than I did as far as relationship. I had my own share, trust me, but I think his was a little. I don't know. I can't speak to your. I don't want to speak to you about your experiences, but yeah, he had a little more, in his background than I did, and but I seen something in him, and it was the way that I felt. I can't even explain the feeling because I have never done it. When it comes down to like a relationship and a man, I've never done it. I would never bust a U-turn for anybody, but for this one, I was willing to bust U-turns, go over curbs, and do everything that was normally not in my character. But yeah, this Texas girl, I wrangled him. I took my U-turn in the middle of the street. Yes, I did, because I had to talk. I had to say good morning before I went to work.
And Brother Clarence, I gotta ask you because you and I, we share the same thing in terms of, you said that you didn't want to do this again and so on and so forth. So you kind of ran. Can you give us just a little inkling of what when you say you didn't want to do this again? Because a lot of men, there's some men on here, they're like a little on the fence and they're running. You know what I'm saying? They're running. I've been in there. You've been there. Yeah. Can you speak to what does it mean to run? Why were you running? You said you didn't want to do this again.
Well, after you done been through like 2, 3, 4, 3 relationships, something like that, and it seems like they always fail, and what comes to your heart is you just don't want to deal with it again because it's so much. It ain't just pressure behind it, it's pain behind it too. And men, as a man don't want to go through this pain over and over and over and over. So that scares a man hard. And we start putting a guard around your heart, and you be like, okay, I'm gonna guard my heart. I ain't gonna be dealing with this like I used to. Because you open your heart up and then you turn around and get hurt again. You feel like crap. And you don't want to feel like crap, so you put this guard around it, So somehow the guard opened up because I asked the universe to open it up. And at the same time, while I was asking the universe to open it up, I was running. So somehow my heart it opened up for her, as we kept talking and dating, because we dated for like 3 months before we even decided to be together, just going out dating, and that's it, and talking and having a good time, just being friends, not in no relationship, just friends.
And then we dated 3 years before we even got married. So
yeah, to get to know each other, because 3 years. 3 years, you're gonna know a person by then, because if they got anything they hide, it's gonna come out within 3 years. You can't hide it for 3 years. It's gonna come out if you're crazy or if you're nutty or whatever. That joke is coming out. You cannot hide it. Oh yes, So yeah.